Hello, cyberspace. It's me, Angie, and I welcome both you and your ears to an episode of Life, Love, Music, and Space Travel. In case you're wondering who Angie is, I'm Angie, and I'm super stoked to spend some time sharing with y'all some of my experiences and thoughts on living, loving, music, and space travel, or spiritual experiences as I often refer to as space travel. A rather broad spectrum, right? Well, my hope is to always share something that resonates with, intrigues, excites, or perhaps inspires you. On that note, I invite you to sit back, buckle up, and take a little trip out into the cosmos with me. Hello, cyberspace. It's me, Angie, coming to you with episode number 68 of my podcast, Life, Love, Music, and Space Travel. This is a music-inspired episode. I've put it off for a little while, but I can't hold off anymore. I've been wanting to let you all know about a couple great concerts I recently saw. It was actually over Easter weekend. The first one I'm going to talk about, I had never heard of before, and I really can't wait to share my experience seeing them. So here we go with the episode I am calling Kanekoa and KELLER. Easter weekend, April 19th. It was just a few days before that I saw something online, and it was about a band called Kanekoa, if I'm saying it correctly. They were performing at a local venue here in Wilmington, North Carolina called the Hawaiian Theater. It's an old venue. I think it dates back to 1858, maybe. They've had all kinds of performers there. That being said, I'd never been before. And I'm not really a fan of indoor venues in general, especially small theaters. My experience with them has been that people can be kind of weird in there. Nobody stands up. And I find it at times very painful to have to sit still during a musical performance. But it was Easter weekend. I decided I wanted to take in a show, and Bill Kreutzmann had stated that these guys were the Hawaiian Grateful Dead, Kanekoa out of Maui. So I decided to take in the ticket. It worked out really well for me because I had purchased a ticket last year for T.S. Monk, and he had canceled a few times and eventually canceled completely. Lo and behold, it ended up I had a credit. I went to the theater having no idea what to really expect. I did do some listening on Spotify to kind of give me a little bit of a heads up of what they might be sounding like. According to online information, it also says ukulele-powered Hawaiian Jam Rock. There are four guys. The names are Kaulana Kanekoa on the ukulele, Vince Esquire on the ukulele, Don, quote, Uncle Don Lopez on the bass, and Travis Rice on the cajon. If anyone's unfamiliar with the cajon, I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. But yeah, four guys. I showed up. I had a really good seat, and I just have to throw in there. I'll give you a little bit of more information as I go further, but my experience with concerts also is generally that I get the tallest person in front of me. It never seems to fail. So sometimes I'm excited, I guess, if I'm in a small venue inside, nobody really stands up in front of me. But this one in particular, the person in front of me had traveled there from Akron, Ohio. He was so excited about seeing these guys. He really made me feel good about being at the show. Once again, I didn't really know what to expect, but he was totally excited about his one night that he was getting to spend to see these guys. I think he'd only seen them once before. They don't normally travel too often on the East Coast. They're really West Coast guys who are, I guess, because people over there on that side of the country are more familiar with their music. So I feel really fortunate that they came to town. Anyway, the band came on. They were spectacular. I probably won't be able to say that enough. They were spectacular. I'm going to give a lot of credit to all four guys in the band, but Vince Esquire, who plays the ukulele, is like a madman on the ukulele. Please Google them. Look for some of their videos. Watch him. I have actually posted a couple videos on my Facebook page. I have it also on my Instagram page, which is Life, Love, Music, Space Travel. I've been trying to post pictures of them. They've been together for 27 years, I believe. He is the ukulele magician. They were spectacular. There was so much sound from 4 guys. I mean, absolutely amazing. So the cajon, which Travis Rice plays, is, and I'm taking this off of Google as well, a 6-sided box-shaped percussion instrument. It comes from Peru. It's played by striking the front or back with your hands, fingers, brushes, or sticks. Cajon means box or drawer in Spanish, and it's got some old history behind the cajon, according to Google once again. It's thought to have been invented in the 18th century Peru by enslaved Africans with empty crates and dresser drawers. There's some further information that you can find there that goes back to the history behind it. But it was this cool thing. He was just sitting on it, and in the beginning, I actually thought it was a washboard because it sort of sounded like he was scraping it. For anyone who's a percussion person out there, you may really find some interest in checking it out if you're not already familiar with it. Once again, I won't be able to say it enough. These guys were fucking fantastic. Every song they played, there was this crescendo that they reached, and then they'd bring you back down to finish it off. It was ups and downs. I had a spectacular time, I will say. Even though the majority of the crowd was sitting down, I want to say almost everybody for the most part, the guy in front of me was standing up, and I'm okay with it. I was okay with it, especially because he was so excited to be there, and he really added to my own excitement and the people around us. They were spectacular. They played a lot of their own music. They also played a lot of covers, which I was familiar with after listening to them on Spotify for a little bit. They have their own song that I really recommend listening to. It's called Hawaiian Superman, and that's actually what they closed with. I believe the crowd was requesting it. It's definitely worth listening to for sure, Hawaiian Superman. But I will say, some amazing covers. They played Peace Frog and Riders on the Storm by The Doors. They played Breathe by Floyd. Going to California, some Led Zeppelin. Wild Side, Lou Reed. They played 2 Allman Brothers songs that were fantastic. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of them. And I did try and get online and look for the set list. I couldn't find it anywhere. And they also played, of course, Eyes of the World, Franklin's Tower, Dead. Spectacular. I cannot say it enough. This episode, once again, is kind of a review. I like to do some music-inspired episodes because I see a lot of music. And I would definitely be remiss if I did not let y'all out there know about these guys. Ukulele-powered Hawaiian Jam Rock. They were fantastic. I cannot really speak highly enough about Vince Esquire. The rest of the guys were fantastic. Travis Rice on the cajon. It was really neat. I mean, they were all kind of just chill up there on the stage. You know, Don doing his thing with the bass guitar. Kualana, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. I apologize, buddy. He was really the voice of the band. Soothing, beachy, tropical. They did their own twist on a lot of the covers, which was really nice. So it wasn't just like a standard repeat or anything like that at all. Absolutely fantastic. I was sold. Billy Kreutzmann, I'm going to say thank you for the suggestion. He lives over in Hawaii, Maui area, I do believe. So I'm sure he sees a lot of them. And I took it. I mean, the crescendos were hit with every song. Powerful ukulele driven. So I didn't know that you could really get so much sound from a ukulele. It's absolutely one of the greatest performances I've attended. I'm not just blowing smoke by any means. I cannot wait to see them again. Amy, my dear friend in Hawaii, I may be coming to visit you, not only to see you, but to hopefully take in a Kanekoa performance. Well worth seeing. So if they're coming to your part of the world, please go see them, support them. They are more than worth it. More than worth it. And that's my take on Kanekoa at the Thallian Theater, April 19th. Next, I'm going to head over to one of my favorite performers, Keller Williams. Keller was performing Grateful Gospel here at one of my favorite venues in the world, the Greenfield Lake Amphitheater. I sure hope things don't ever change with this lovely little gem of a venue. Keller Williams on Easter Sunday doing Grateful Gospel. He came out and played on his own, dressed like he usually is, barefoot, Maybe he had shorts on. It was just him and his equipment. He's a multi-instrumentalist phenom, according to the La Crosse local. He does a lot of looping. It's really just him, his guitar, and he'll add in some other instruments on his own. He's an incredible solo performer. If you haven't seen him, you should definitely take him in. He's fun. He does a lot of covers. He does a lot of his own music. He's got plenty of vinyl albums out there. He's got his own Spotify channel, of course, so listen to some Keller Williams. He opened with a set of his own, and then he came back for Grateful Gospel, which is the spiritual side of Grateful Dead and Jerry songs, performed in the style of black gospel music. Meant to be performed on a festival stage on a Sunday morning. That comes from kellerwilliams.net, I do believe. It wasn't a Sunday morning, but it was a Sunday afternoon. It wasn't necessarily a festival stage, but it was one of the best stages around. If you have not been to the Greenfield Lake Amphitheater, you definitely need to get there. It's this incredible setting. It's on the Greenfield Lake. You have to stay away from the edges because there are alligators. When he came out for the second set for the Grateful Gospel, he came out in a suit and tie. He was definitely in his preacher clothes. This is not a Christian act by any means, but he definitely gave some love to the baby Jesus, and he sang out some gospel-inspired tunes. If you're familiar with the Grateful Dead, you know Robert Hunter was a spectacular writer, as was Jerry and the rest of the guys, and most of their music is soulfully inspired. It's perfect for a Sunday morning, any week, any month, but definitely Easter Sunday. It was a wonderful way to spend an evening singing, dancing, celebrating music and the spirit that definitely carries itself throughout the lyrics of all Grateful Dead songs. He came up with a band. They had 3 backup singers, all women, who were spectacular. He had a bass guitarist, there was a keyboard player, a drummer, and he was actually traveling with Gib Droll on the guitar, who's a really great blues guitarist. He's played with Bruce Hornsby and the Noisemakers. Maybe that's who he travels with if he's not on his own. Also, Jason Hahn, who plays with String Cheese, and then Benji Parecki on the organ. I apologize if I'm butchering those names, but I'm doing my best. I'll try and include most of, if not all of this information in the show notes. But if you haven't taken in Keller, he's definitely been traveling around. He plays a lot in Colorado. He's played up and down the East Coast. What I do know is that he puts on a great performance. I've seen him quite a few times. I saw him at the Villar Center in Beaver Creek, Colorado. I've definitely seen him around Colorado. I've seen him here at the Greenfield Lake Amphitheater a few different times. He tours a lot. I hope that I get to see him in New Orleans during the Jazz Fest Days Between or something like that next year as well, because he does that. And he'll usually do the Grateful Gospel. Definitely a great performer. It was kind of cool. Greenfield Lake Amphitheater has added on this new deck. Now, I'm not sure if it's always open available for the general admission deal. I'm not sure if it's closed off for private stuff. But for this particular performance, it was open. So the brother and I hung out. It was a great way to overlook the stage. There was nobody else really up there with us. I also looked up the set list for this, and I couldn't find it anywhere, but as always, we got to hear a Midnight Moonlight. Wouldn't be a show without that tune. And Ripple was played. Anyone who really likes Keller, in particular, he did play Freaker, Tweaker, by the Speaker. It was a spectacular Easter weekend filled with magnificent music and a lot of great people. Both of the venues, there was a really great crowd. I'll even give credit to the Thalion Hall. I think it seemed like a lot of people maybe knew the band, unlike myself. And so, people were clapping along and moving to the best of their ability within their seats as they could. And everyone was dancing and getting up and feeling the spirit move within them, certainly for the Keller Williams show. Those are my suggestions. It's the summertime coming on us. We're moving out of spring, and so the live music scene is vibrant live and well. I'll give you just a little bit of a peek into my next episode, which is also, I do believe, going to be a music-inspired episode, and it's going to be focused on my 2 nights of string cheese incident at the Greenfield Lake Amphitheater. Now, in all honesty, I hadn't seen them in a few years. I just saw 2 nights, the past 2 nights, fucking fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to use the F words, fucking fantastic. I hadn't seen them in a long time. I had forgotten how spectacular they were. They put on a show like no other. I won't miss them anytime I'm around and they're close. For now, Kanekoa and Keller. Get to see them. Please, Kanekoa, if you're listening, come back to Wilmington and play at Greenfield Lake Amphitheater instead of Thalion Theater. Thalions will be angry with me maybe, but please come back and play at Greenfield Lake Amphitheater. And to everybody else, go out and support live music. Plenty of live music all over the world, all over the United States. It happens to be where I am at this point. And I have quite a few shows on my list, and I'll continue to add them in. I'm trying to catch up on some older performances that I've been to, so I'll squeeze those in, maybe from last year's Jazz Fest. I know it's been a year, a new one has already come and gone, but I definitely want to give some shout outs to some of the performers that I have seen and didn't get a chance to let everybody know how fantastic they are. Here's to live music. Music is my medicine. It definitely soothes the soul. So get out there, dance, boogie, get down, sing out loud, and as they say, of course, dance like nobody is watching, or dance like people are watching if you want them to. Thanks for listening. I will see you again. Maybe I'll see you at a show at some point. Listen to lots and lots of music. Bye for now. So we've reached the end of today's episode. Thanks so very much for listening. It's now time to reconnect to planet Earth and all that comes with living on the blue ball. I'd love to hear your ideas for future episode topics, along with any and all positive and or constructive feedback. Please feel free to contact me at ashyisbadass@gmail.com. Thanks again for spending some time with me and allowing me to share myself with you. Until next time, please be gentle with yourselves, be kind to animals, and do all you can to allow your authentic selves to shine brightly.